Hey, good morning, everyone. We are officially just under 3 weeks out from the tennis season starting. We officially have word from the MHSAA that the season will begin. And of course, we are hoping that we will be able to complete it as well, as long as we keep doing what we need to do and people stay healthy. The purpose of this video is to give you kind of an overview of the season. There's a separate video that I'm going to ask you to watch that is specific to COVID-19 and the precautions that we are taking. So again, this is not really going to address that. There's a separate video for that because I just don't want that to get lost in the shuffle. So if you're looking for some of that information, you'll find that in the additional video. But let me go ahead and kind of give you a quick overview here of what the season is hopefully going to be looking like. First and foremost, you'll notice August 12th, which is a Wednesday, that is our first practice day. In the summer, we practice from 8 a.m. until 10 a.m. Once school begins, of course, we move to after school, but we move 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Up until we do that. It keeps us out of the heat, and we'll have that 2-hour block. That also gives you a chance to stay after practice if you would like and continue to play. It gives you a chance to go home and come back out later. But that's going to be kind of what our schedule looks like for now. You'll also notice up top, we've decided to keep our booster fee and pay to play. Not that we personally have say in that. Those are going to stay the same. $180, which all goes to South Lyon Athletics. You'll make that checkout to that, or you can pay online. And then we're asking for a $60 booster fee this year. Originally, we were thinking about even increasing that a little bit, but we've decided to keep that the same, knowing that people are in different financial situations in relation to what COVID-19 has done. If you were concerned about either of those fees, I do understand, of course, that $180 going to the school and then $60 coming to the boosters is a significant amount of money. If you are concerned about either of those or both, please do not hesitate to contact me individually or Mr. Teagan, and we will see what we can work out there. But let's go ahead and take a look at what the tennis season holds for us. Brief introduction. Every single player must be signed up for our Remind group. You can join it through texting through this or adding that code if you already have Remind. And I highly recommend that parents sign up for that as well. That's going to be everything from something quick, such as practices canceled today due to weather, to some big things like a rescheduled match, something like that. And I also try and send a message home to parents when we're on our way back from an away match. That way, hey, we're about 30 minutes out. All of those things are going to be really helpful. So every single player must be a part of it. There will be times I'll contact a player individually, especially for tournaments or something like that. Hey, send me your scores after, or hey, there's been a change in location tomorrow. You need to actually go here. All of those things are going to be used through Remind. So every single player and at least one parent needs to be hooked up on Remind, please and thank you. As far as overview of teams and of the team in goals, this is a team that I take a lot of pride in being a part of. I think this is my 9th season with South Lyon Tennis. It's my 9th, but not 9th with the guys, because when we first started, we didn't even have a guys team. And now we do, of course. We're incredibly proud of that we were in the 30s as far as our numbers last year. And of course, we're also really proud that we made it to the state tournament for the first time in program history last year. So a lot of growth. Our goals remain the same, which is that we continue to come to practice and matches, and we work to get better. I'm really proud of the South Lyon tennis community and what that's become. It is no longer an afterthought. It's something that we all take great pride in. And so we carry ourselves the way that we need to. That also means that as we head into our classrooms or online learning or whatever it's going to be at different parts of the year, that you are always representing the South Lyon tennis team, whether or not you're wearing South Lyon tennis gear or not. Teachers notice. They know who's on the tennis team, and so we are always carrying ourselves the way that we need to. That's a really important aspect of me being in the school, is that my colleagues know. They know I coach tennis. They know who the tennis kids are, and And a lot of them have conversations of, hey, I've got some tennis players in my class. They know those things. So it's not just carrying ourselves the way that we need to on the court, it's also off the court. And so we'll discuss that, more in person, what that looks like. But just make sure we're doing all those right things. Varsity and JV, we have a lot of opportunities this year. We lost an amazing group of seniors last year who led us to the state tournament. There are a lot of opportunities here. I am hoping that we can start making some decisions by... I said the second week of practice. It may become the second full week of practicing, as the first day of practice is a Wednesday. Really, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday of that first week is to get acclimated, and then starting that next Monday, we're going to be working on some challenge matches, so we need to start getting ourselves in shape if we have not been playing. I know many of you have, and I'm really thankful for that, but if you have not been putting in the time like you necessarily need to, I recommend starting now, because you've got Wednesday, Thursday, Friday to get acclimated, and then that following Monday, we're going. And we've got a lot of spots to fill, and we'll see who rises to the challenge there. All right. Quick overview of who we play. Our league stays the same. Our region, to my knowledge at this point, is staying the same, although there will be some schools that perhaps don't have teams this year due to COVID-19 not being able to field them. So things could technically change. We will wait and see. Our league, Milford, Lakeland, East, Mott and Kettering are morphing, and then we've got the Walled Lake schools, Northern, Western, and Central. Our region, as of now, Dexter, East Lansing, they remain the same. Lansing, Waverly, Jackson, they were in our region last year, although I believe it was Lansing, Waverly who didn't have a team. Same with Temperance. Jackson, South Lyon, East, Temperance, and Ypsilanti, Lincoln. So we do have East both in our league and in our region, which makes it a good, healthy rivalry. All right, paperwork, and this is in the document. That way you can actually click on some links, but if for some reason you forget and it's easier just to click here, it'll take you there. I need 4 forms for you. I need your physical, I need participation, I need transportation, and I need concussion. The physical, they are doing a little bit differently this year because of COVID-19. So you need either a physical taken after April 15th. If you got a physical this summer, fantastic, you are all set. Or if you do not have a physical yet and you are not planning on getting a physical, there is another way that you can play. You need a valid on-file physical from last year taken after April 15th, 2019. So if you got one last year in preparation for playing and you have not had any major changes, then you can use that, as well as fill out the MHSAA health questionnaire, which provides more up-to-date health information. Now, this is up to you how you want to navigate that. Again, if you get a more recent physical, I think that that's a great idea if that's something that you can get in and do. However, if you're not comfortable going into a doctor's office, you can use last year's physical, but you have to complete that new health questionnaire. And I've sent that out to you. It's linked here. It's in the other document. And if you have any additional questions, you can contact Mr. Teagan or someone from the MHSAA for exactly what that's going to look like. But you do have a couple options there, which is nice, as far as how you do your physical this year. All right. Overview stuff, attendance, matches, practices. To attend, you do need to be present for all 6 class periods, assuming that you are doing in-person education. You are going to have the option this year, as of my understanding at this moment, which of course could change, of doing all online. If you choose to do all online, you can still participate in tennis. If you're looking for more information on that, please email me or message me through Remind, and I will provide as much information as I can. In truth, you should probably contact Mr. Teagan, as he's going to have even more up-to-date information. So if you are not planning on doing in-person education, but you would still like to be part of the tennis team, he will be able to provide you information for what that looks like. However, if you are doing in-person education, you must be present for every single class. If that's all 6 classes, great. If we move to more of a block scheduling this year, where you only have 3 classes in a day, then you must be present for all of those. So there is no skipping first hour or showing up half an hour late, or any of those things. You won't be able to participate. I get a document every single day saying these students are not eligible due to attendance. So make sure that you are present. That's true for practices and matches. All right. Speaking of practices, until school begins, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. until, excuse me, we're going to go ahead and move that back to 10 a.m. We are doing an hour and a half practice once school actually begins. I'm sorry, we're doing an hour and a half practice once school begins, but up until that point, we will do 2-hour practices, and we'll talk about the other one in just a moment. So until school begins, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Monday through Friday, starting on the 12th, and we'll run that pretty much right up until Labor Day. Once school begins, practice will run from 3 until 4:30. 3 o'clock gives me enough time to hopefully do any cleaning measurements that I need to do in my classroom, and we'll go until 4:30. Oftentimes in the past we've gone until 5. However, we're going to go until 4:30 this year for a little bit of social distancing and making sure that we can keep everybody safe. I think we can do what we need to do until 4:30. There may be a few students that stay a little bit later to finish up a challenge match or something like that, but official practice will end at 4:30. We're doing that just because we need a little bit of flexibility. We don't know what the year's going to look like, especially when I'm in the building, starting at 6:45 for cleaning routines, and then need to figure out my classroom after school. So we are condensing practice just a little bit this year. As far as match days, our magic time's 2:45. If we have a match, I'm going to ask the students to try and be out there at 2:45 for home matches. So on those days, I'm just going to have to stay a little bit later when we get back from our matches, or when we finish our matches, to do my cleaning routines there. And if we are away, that's when the bus leaves, to my best knowledge right now. Also, please note this: you must ride the bus both ways. If you ride it there, you must ride it back. If there is a moment where you need an exception on that, please be proactive and message me ahead of time, and I'll let you know what form you need to fill out and send over to Mr. Teagan. But we can't take inappropriate advantage of that. If we do, we're going to lose our buses. If we've got people trying to transport themselves all the time, then we're gonna lose our buses, so we can't do that. As far as tournaments, we'll talk about tournaments a little bit more as those get a little bit closer. I listed some dates for those in the separate document that I set out. Varsity has one Saturday tournament against Howell. We will also have a Saturday tournament, which is our league tournament, and then we will also have our regional tournament. That's the one that you miss school for on a Thursday. So varsity ends up with 3 tournaments this year. I tried to not schedule more than that just because we don't know what things look like in terms of health. JV, you have 1 tournament this year. I hope. I am hoping enough teams have JV teams that we can have the league tournament. That is a Saturday tournament. We'll talk about that as that gets a little bit closer. The date, of course, is embedded in that document as well. All right. 2 final slides here. Just reminders, or for new players, what do I wear and what do I need to bring? We talk about needing to live out of our tennis bags, and I'm going to add in some things both in this presentation and in terms of the COVID-19 presentation as well. Practice, you need appropriate athletic wear. You need shorts with pockets. That's really important. 1, for carrying tennis balls, and 2, because you need a mask every single day. We're going to talk about exactly what that looks like in the other video, but when you are not on court, you must be wearing a mask. When we take breaks and you leave the court to take a water break, you have to put a mask on. Some of you may even choose to wear masks while you are playing or while we're giving directions. Highly encouraged. And so because you're going to be having a mask putting on and off, you need to have shorts to carry tennis balls, but also to make sure that you have your mask, hand sanitizer, any of those other things. Please also make sure that you have layers for on and off the court, especially as cooler weather moves in. Especially tournaments, there are going to be some early mornings where you are going to want to have hoodies and sweatshirts, and sweatpants, and then slowly those things might start coming off a little bit. Have all your stuff in there. As far as your match uniforms, The only thing that we ask you to order is a white South Lyon tennis shirt, and then blue shorts, which we can provide you, but most students end up playing in their own dark blue plain shorts. No stripes on the sides or anything like that, but if you can find yourself a pair of solid blue navy shorts, you may purchase your own. If it's cold out, you can wear South Lyon High School tennis gear, and we'll talk more about that spirit wear as we get that out to you. For spirit wear orders, we're going to get that information to you soon. Mr. Wessner and Mrs. Wessner are finalizing those things. We'll get that out to you in just a little bit. Tennis shoes, those cannot just be general athletic shoes, or else you're probably going to wear right through the bottom of them. I recommend looking online or going out to Royal Oak, to Golf and Tennis. They have actual tennis shoes, which have extra rubber on the toes and on the bottom, and that way your shoes will hold up a little bit better. If you don't have shoes like that, you can practice in general athletic shoes, but I really recommend that you eventually work your way out there, or else you're going to be buying yourself a new pair of shoes by the end of the season. Layers, make sure you have extra socks. I know that seems like an odd one, but especially tournament days, there's a chance that you're going to want to change your socks. I'd also throw in a rain jacket, lots of snacks, and then water. Water will not be provided this year. I'm going to say that one more time. Water will not be provided. And so every day on your way in, and we'll talk more about this in the COVID video, I'm going to check that you have a mask. I'm going to check that you have filled out a form saying that you do not have a fever. And I'm going to check to make sure you have a personal water bottle. If you have not done those 3 things, you will not play that day. I can't let you play without water, and I can't provide water. You have to bring your own every single day. We'll talk more about that in the COVID-19 video. All right. Last but not least, specific to new players, I do have some practice rackets. They are older. I recommend that you have your own. However, if you are a new player, if you're newer to tennis, I do have some rackets available. Please send me a message ahead of time through Remind so I can have some rackets set aside for you. And I'll probably ask a little bit about what's your height and kind of like general weight so I can hopefully get a racket that fits you well. If you are looking for a nicer racket, Tennis and Golf Company, I think, is still your best bet. If you're not quite ready, if you're new to tennis, then you could check out Dick's. I would stay away from any of the low-level rackets. Now, you could spend a lot on a tennis racket, but there's a big difference between a $20 racket and even a $60 one, let alone an $80 one, something like that. It's one of those things where the more money you spend up front, the less likely it is you're going to have to spend money on new strings, or even a new racket. If you get a $20, $30, or even $40 racket, then ultimately that racket will maybe make it through the season, maybe, but probably not. So if you have questions on rackets, please let me know. Shoes for tryouts, we talked a little bit about that. Make sure that you have athletic shoes that support your ankles. Don't wear your Converse. I can't let you play in those. Something that supports the ankles. Match times are approximate. Parents, players always want to know how long are matches. It depends on the size of the other team. Usually matches run about 3:30 to 6:30, somewhere in there. But that depends on travel time. That depends on whether the other team has a JV team. What's the size of that? All of those things. Length of season, we're running through the second week of October. The exact date for regionals, which is varsity only, is to be determined, but we anticipate it will be October 8th. We normally get scheduled for a Thursday, so that's the one that we're looking at. All right. Folks, if you have any additional questions, don't hesitate to reach out through Remind, or you can shoot me an email through my South Lyon email, which I'll slide back to really quickly here. There we go. pruderj@slcs.us. If you have some longer questions, please don't hesitate to reach out through that. All right, folks, thank you so much for tuning in for this. And please remember, you do have to watch the COVID-19 related video that I put together with specifics to what practice and matches are going to look like and what is required from you. That way we can keep you safe. So thank you so much. Let me know if you have any questions, comments, and concerns. Hopefully I will see you here in just under 3 weeks, August 12th at 8 a.m. Thank you.